Well guys, I finished the truck. I know it's been a while since I last updated. I think the last time I updated I was just finishing mating the transmission up to the engine, but this is it now, so everything's in. Yeah, I was trying to get it ready for Dino's Get Down. Those of you in the truck scene are familiar with that. It's an annual event here in Arizona, but wanted to get it done for that, so I kind of went video off and just knocked everything out as fast as I could. But here it is. So got a C10 inner fenders. They're a little higher, so that was my biggest problem with the stock inner fenders. I was bottoming out and rubbing on everything, so those fit great. Of course, a lot of fab with those, but they fit. I don't rub anymore. That's awesome. With that, I had to raise the battery up. Had to notch the hood a little bit to get that to fit, but that fits good too. Keeps it in the stock spot and allows me to run my intake over to this side. This is a Air-Aid universal 4-inch kit that I just cut a section out of, going into a S10 airbox. Kind of thought it was funny that it still says V6 Vortec on it. Other than that, mostly stock stuff for the engine, other than the Dirty Dingo high mount AC compressor with the Sandin 508. Haven't got that hooked up yet, which I need to. It's getting hot here in Arizona, but everything's ran for that except for the lines and the dryer there. Yeah, the rest of the accessories are stock. I did a NBS brake master cylinder upgrade and an ABS delete, which you guys, sorry for the lighting, it's bright here. You guys already saw the delete there with the Willwood proportioning valve, but I don't know if you saw the NBS master cylinder. I sent my harness out to Current Performance. They're the ones that did all the wiring for it. You can see it going into the cab there where my ECU is mounted behind the glove box, but they were able to retain my factory fuse box. They just kind of gutted it and rebuilt their own in there, so that's super clean. Made a bracket to mount that into the new inner fenders. What else? 454 SS radiator with Ford F-150 electric fans, so hard to see under there, but deleted the fan clutch setup, which I liked a lot more. They're loud, probably way too loud because they're aftermarket. I think they're kind of junky ones, but they do the job. They keep the truck nice and cool. But other than that, everything else is the same. So it's got a I think it's a 4.6 drop in it. We notched the rear frame. It's a flip kit in the back, and then drop spindle and lowering spring in the front, and then a don't mind the junk in here, but NV 3500 5-speed manual. Kept that from the V6 setup. Was able to keep the factory cluster. Everything in there works. That's one of the main reasons I went with the Current Performance harness. Everything was almost completely plug and play. I had to wire the blower motor and the speedometer, but everything else is plug and play, so that's awesome. Don't mind the toilet paper. I was sick, so that was my tissues. But got a fire extinguisher mounted here to the cab. I've been driving the truck for about 5 or 6 months now. Not completely finished, but been driving it consistently, dailying it to work. And in that time, I have had one fuel line leak out of these fittings going right into the fuel rail there. It was my fault. I didn't tighten everything down. So that was easy to fix. Just tighten that up and everything was good. But ever since I found that fuel leak, fire extinguisher is a big thing to have on my list here. So that's awesome. I wanted to go with the super clean look. So those of you familiar with it, the factory coolant overflow bottle is in the corner, and it's a big plastic jug, which is fine, but trying to clean up the engine bay, it was a little too ugly for what I was wanting for. So just went with a nice, it's dusty already, a nice coolant overflow up front here. It's worked so far. I haven't had any problems. What else? I don't know. Pretty much that's it, I think. I got Speed Engineering headers, and then Y pipe, 1 cat, and then a 3-inch all the way back with a Black Widow neighbor hater muffler. It's loud, but it's not too bad. I didn't want my neighbors to hate me since it's my daily driver, so it's not too bad. I'll insert a sound clip at the end of it running here. For internals in the engine, I did a Brian Tooley truck Norris cam. I covered that, I think, in one of my other videos, but truck Norris cam, Brian Tooley upgraded rocker trunnions. I know these mostly for boosted applications and higher horsepower. They can shoot out the end caps for the rocker arms and shoot needle bearings into the heads, and I wanted to avoid that, so went to the upgraded ones. They have C-clips that keep all the needle bearings in place. LS7 lifters. This was a pre-DOD engine, so I didn't need to delete that. Stock coils, stock intake, stock throttle body. Pretty much, I wanted to keep it as stock as possible. I might do like a LS3 intake manifold one day, just because they look clean and it gets rid of this engine cover. I don't hate it, but that's the first thing everyone says when they see it is, oh, why don't you do a intake manifold, LS1, LS3, whatever. So maybe one day, I don't know. I think that's it. We'll start her up here and then we'll get some exhaust videos. You can see everything works. The temp gauge, I don't know if you can hear me very well or not. The temp gauge is the one for the cluster is in the passenger head, and it doesn't read super accurate, so it reads a little bit low, but it is up to temp. I was just driving it for the last 30 minutes, but everything else works. Oil pressure, fuel level, tach, speed, battery voltage, everything works, so that's awesome. Here's a little idle chop for you. So that's pretty much it, guys. If you got any questions or comments for me, leave them in the comments. I'm happy to answer any questions for those of you with OBS trucks that you're looking to do an LS swap into. I'm happy to answer some questions. If you got any critique for me, feel free to let me know. I'm not opposed to changing something if you see something that's set up incorrectly, or if you think something could look a little cleaner, I'm happy to change it up. But I do still want to get a radiator filler panel here, so I'll probably pick one of those up. It kind of just fills in. It's just a piece of sheet metal that covers up the radiator and the radiator hose. I may have to notch it to fit around my intake setup, but it'll kind of just clean up the front section here, especially since the radiator is aluminum color. It'll kind of blend it in with the rest of the black stuff. But let me know in the comments if you guys can think of anything else that would clean up my engine bay, or if you guys, anyone else doing an LS swap, especially with the OBS chassis. Let me know if you got any questions. I'm happy to answer them for you. I'm not an expert. This is my first time, but I did a ton of research leading up to this, so I kind of know my way around it a bit. Yeah, let me know if you can think of any way to clean it up. I did my best without, obviously I got to keep my AC, it's my daily driver. I wanted to keep My brake booster, again, it's my daily driver. I want it to be easy to drive. Sorry for the wind. But other than maybe doing a remote mount battery in the back to leave up clear space there, that's all I can really think. But I kind of like it there just because it kind of fills in the same section as the airbox does. Kind of makes it nice and even there in the engine bay. There will obviously be some AC parts there that'll kind of tie in with this side as well. It won't look so empty. I want it to look clean, but I don't want it to look empty. Don't mind the red plug wires. I got factory plug wires only to realize they don't fit with my headers. They just kind of rested right on the headers and they were melting. So the day before Dino's, I ordered those on Amazon and got them overnighted. So nice to be able to get parts like that, but they are ugly. I do want just to either get gray or black ones. So that's to come. Don't mind the red. I know it's random in here, especially with the blue. Oh, I also didn't cover my filler plates I made here. So in order to do the C10 fenders, I had to cut a big chunk out of the inner fender of the stock fenders, the outer fenders. So these are my filler plates. It's 1/16, I think. I don't know. It's sheet aluminum that I got some color match paint for, and then put some just rubber trim around the edge just so it wasn't creaking and scratching up the fenders. But I think that's about it, guys. So leave a comment, let me know if you got any ideas or questions or critiques. I'm happy to hear them, and thanks for watching.